Hello! It is so good to be with you today. I'm really looking forward to talking about what's going to happen for our mealtime today. So this is coming from a book called SkinnyTaste, Fast and Slow. And so this woman, Gina Homolka, also has a SkinnyTaste blog. A lot of people have used it when they're trying to cook a little healthier in their life. And this book in particular, Fast and Slow, is either slow cooker meals or meals that can be made quickly, which was right up my alley. I ran into this book at a kids fundraising event at a local bookstore. I picked it up just being like, well, sure, let me try that. We had a brand new baby at the time, so cooking fast meals was really important to me. And this one in particular is called Slow Cooker Italian Turkey Zucchini Meatballs. So essentially, turkey meatballs in a slow cooker with some sauce, and then you put pasta with it or zucchini noodles or whatever. So she has a picture of the recipe there. And so I've made a few modifications. But first, I just want to kind of give you a sense of the day, because for a lot of people, they're saying, I don't have time to cook healthy. And that's a really big theme in people's lives. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to cook healthy, this kind of thing. So this morning, I got all the kids up out of bed. Well, I was up at 5:45. My husband and I did a workout. We got ourselves together at 6:50. We woke up our kids. We get them dressed. We bring them downstairs, brush teeth, do hair. My husband puts the breakfast on the table while I put lunches together. So what was lunch? Lunch was leftover soup from last night, grapes in a container, these really fun, I think they're called Way Better crackers. So they've got daikon in them and sesame seeds on top. They're so tasty, and gluten-free, which is a really important thing for me. So I throw those together in the lunches, and I have, before we're going to leave the house, still 30 minutes left. And so I start putting this recipe together. I didn't have zucchini, I had yellow summer squash because somehow the grocery store was out of zucchini. But summer squash, the yellow stuff, and the green zucchini, about the same. So no big deal, you just won't have the green flecks. The turkey burger I had thawing in the fridge, so we'd put it in the sink. Sorry, not the fridge. We'd put it in the sink before we went to bed, got up, ripped that open. So there's a few modifications here. This recipe calls for zucchini. As you know, I'm doing summer squash, turkey burger. You could do any other kind of burger, chicken burger, hamburger. We've certainly done all of those, but we needed to use up some turkey burger that was in the freezer. Breadcrumbs. She's using whole wheat breadcrumbs. I'm using gluten-free breadcrumbs. Same difference, it doesn't matter. The Parmesan cheese or Romano cheese, I skipped it. We're trying to do less dairy because we have a child that has a lactose intolerance. But I did add in nutritional yeast. How much? I don't know. I dumped roughly a handful of nutritional yeast. She uses fresh chopped parsley. I did buy that this week. Sometimes I don't. So I grabbed a knife, whoosh, took off a little, chopped it up, threw that in. But you could also use a couple tablespoons of dried parsley and just skip that all together. A clove of crushed garlic. I did go ahead and do that. Another quicker, fast solve. Garlic powder, like a teaspoon in there to the 1 pound of meat. Then 1 egg. I didn't add the egg at all. I don't have any eggs in the fridge right now. I could have made a flaxseed slurry. I didn't have time for that, so we're just skipping that all together. Then the salt and the pepper. Her recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of salt per 1 pound of meat. I went with 1 teaspoon of salt per 2 pounds of meat, so I lessened the sodium intake a little bit. Pepper, as you've seen from me, I just sprinkled on top. So that was that. Put it all together in the bowl, had a nice big bowl, made ginormous meatballs. The meatballs go raw into the slow cooker, which is, I was so shocked that this was even a possibility. It makes sense now that I've done enough of her meals that this is possible. Then I used, because I'm doing a double batch, 2 big cans, 28 ounces of crushed tomato. It calls to saute 4 cloves of garlic with a teaspoon of oil on the stove. That one I drew the line. I don't have time to pull out a saute pan besides. So I put in 3 teaspoons of garlic powder. With that, there's supposed to be Parmesan cheese in with the sauce. I'm not doing that, again, for that lactose allergy. What we will use is a nutty parm on top. So nutty parm, you need to put that in quotes. It's actually nutritional yeast, Brazilian nuts, some other kinds of nuts, and some spices. Sort of like a Parmesan cheese. It's got a little bit of crunch to it because of the nuts. Really tasty, though. Our family loves it, and that will replace cheese for us tonight. A bay leaf, if you use them, if you've listened to these videos, you know I haven't been doing much with bay leaves because you have to pull them out. I don't want to go fishing. I don't have time for it, so I'm not using them right now. I'm sure I'll come back to them at some point in the future. And a little bit of pepper. So all of that went into the slow cooker, and this will slow cook for 8 hours. That is just beautiful. Now, if you're home one day and you don't have, like, you just didn't have time to get something prepped, you could throw your meatballs in the oven for probably 20 minutes, just until they're done in the middle, probably on 400, and then boil your noodles. It's all kind of the same. You could, while that's baking in the oven, you could make your sauce on the stove. This way, you can run around all day. Your sauce is going to be warm when you're ready to eat. In terms of pasta, so I will probably cook my pasta while the kids are doing homework. I could, though, cook my pasta right now if I wanted to. The key to cooking your pasta ahead, when you rinse it, really rinse out the starch and then leave it in water. I used to leave it in oil, but you're just adding extra too. So take some cold water so you're not still cooking your noodles, and just let them rest in that cold water until you're ready to eat. Then if you want, you could reheat your noodles in the microwave. Sometimes I just let the sauce do that work, or run a little hot water over them, just whatever. The sauce, if it comes out of a modern day slow cooker, is hot. So that is how that works. It's just miraculous. And I wanted to really point that out, right? So we left the house this morning at 7:50. This was in the slow cooker, ready to go at 7:40. I'm not thinking about dinner. Like, boiling water on the stove, throwing those noodles in is stuff that I'll just, do the homework, run over here and throw noodles in, come back to the table. When the timer goes off, come back, drain them, go back to the table, and do that homework. So it'll be a little bit of multitasking, but not bad. And so I wanted to share that with you because it's so much fun. We are doing a lot of whole plant-based, vegetarian and vegan style meals. Not all of them, however, so hopefully that's helpful. And you see, I play with recipes all the time, make them work for me. So feel free to do that in your own life as well. That's the day. I hope that you have a great day. Thank you to everybody who comments and thinks a little bit about how this works in their life or what they're doing to change things up. I love that. That's so helpful. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.